Hello and welcome. My name is Don Byler. I'm a Senior Systems Engineer here with Symantec, and today I'm going to talk to you about Group Update Provider configuration. Specifically, I'm going to talk to you about the order of selection that a client uses when it is looking for a Group Update Provider, and we'll talk about understanding the explicit Group Update Provider functionality in a little more detail. This video assumes that you are already familiar with where the live update policy resides within the SEP manager, and that you already understand the service that a group update provider performs. You can see here my group update provider policy. Group update providers are also generally referred to as GUPs. And you see three different configurations for the group update providers. You'll see the multiple GUP list, you'll see the explicit GUP configuration, and you will see a single GUP configuration. This policy is actually laid out in the order that a client will use when it is searching for a GUP. It will first look to the multiple GUP list for a client that resides within its own, or for a GUP that resides within its own subnet. If the client does not find a GUP specified within its own subnet in the multiple GUP list, it then looks to the explicit GUP configuration. It says, are there any clients labeled as explicit GUPs for me to use that are outside of my subnet? If the client then does not find an explicit GUP, it looks to the single GUP configuration. To get a better idea of what this looks like and how it works, we're going to configure the GUP policy based on the diagram that you see here. I created this diagram based on information found in one of Symantec's tech articles, Tech 198640. You can see the link in the upper left. If you're looking for this information to reference at a later date, you can just look to symantec.com/docs/tech198640. In this scenario, we have three different subnets. We have a server farm, a marketing, and an engineering subnet. The server farm is located in 10.0.0.0 range. The marketing group is located in the 172.10.0.0 range, and engineering in 192.168.10.0. What we're going to do is configure the GUP policy so that the 10.1 and 10.2 systems within the server farm act as group update providers for every system in every one of the subnets that you see here. To do this, we're going to begin with the multiple GUP configuration. We're going to go ahead and add. We're going to specify the systems that we want to act as GUPs by the actual IP address of those systems. That was 10.10.10.1 and 10.10.10.2. Now if I click OK here, and then I click OK and I assign this policy out to every one of the systems, every one of the groups, or every one of the clients in our diagram, all we have effectively done up to this point is assigned the 10.1 and 10.2 systems to act as GUPs. They will get that list in the policy, they will see themselves as members of the list, and that will tell them to turn on their GUP functionality and provide contents to other clients. The second thing we have done up to this point is told all of the systems within the server farm subnet to look to the 10.1 and 10.2 systems as their GUPs. While the marketing and engineering subnets will get the same GUP list that the server farm does, they will not find a GUP within their own subnets, and as a result they will not have a GUP to provide them with content updates. To assign them GUPs to provide them with content updates, we are going to then want to move to the explicit GUP configuration. Now it's important to note here that the explicit GUP configuration does not actually enable GUP functionality on the endpoint protection client. The multiple GUP list and the single GUP configuration are what identify a client and tell the client to turn on the GUP functionality. The explicit GUP configuration is simply an additional policy functionality that makes use of the already existing GUPs that have been defined by the multiple or single GUP configurations. Now when we look at the explicit GUP listings, we are actually going to configure this in two different ways. The first is for the marketing subnet. Now we're going to tell the marketing subnet, which is 172.10.0.0, to go to a specific, or I should say explicit, GUP. We're going to specify that by IP address, though we can specify by host name as well. That was 10.10.10.1. We're going to go ahead and say OK. And what we've done with that configuration is told the entire marketing subnet, go ahead and reach outside of your subnet over to the server farm and get your content updates from the system on IP address 10.10.10.1. Now we could do the same thing for the engineering subnet. We could go ahead and specify engineering subnet, which is 192.168.10.0. We could say IP address or host name and send them to the 10.2 system, or we could send them to the 10.1 system, or we could tell the engineering subnet, it doesn't matter which GUP in the server farm, just find one that's available and get your content updates from that. So we're just going to simply tell the engineering subnet, reach out to the subnet of the server farm, look for the GUPs that are in this list, and get your content updates from whichever GUPs you've found in that subnet. Now, when we go ahead and we click on OK, and we click OK again, and we save this policy and we assign it out to all of these systems, we now have a configuration where all of the systems in this diagram will retrieve their updates from the 10.1 or the 10.2 systems, whether those clients reside outside of or within the same subnet as those two group update providers. If you're looking for further information on this subject, please don't hesitate to search Symantec's knowledge base. The specific document that provided a lot of this information, again, is at symantec.com/docs/tech198640. Thank you.